Yo, 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 it's your boy Michael Triotea, and I'm here with the Ghetto Flower Fresh Flowers podcast. You already know what it is. Got my main man, co-host Q in the building. What's good, broski?
What's good, bro? We got another good guest.
Hell yeah. Very excited for this very special guest. I'd like to introduce you all to the one and only.
Hi, my name is Mariah Colon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. Super, super dope to have you here with us today. Obviously, this is your first time on the Ghetto Flower, so we're really going to tap into, a lot of your background and your upbringings and, really just kind of get to know each other and, try to understand a little bit more about what you're working on and how you got to this point. So, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for coming through.
Thanks for having me here. This is exciting.
No, for real. No, we appreciate you sliding. And then, everybody that comes through, that we first, have sit down, we ask obviously the simple question, what got you into music? Because I know there was something that, something that you were hearing, whether it's from your parents or whatever. What got you into music?
I feel like a lot of different things. My entire family is musically inclined. So my dad was in a rap group in the 90s. Ooh. So he would perform. He opened up for Kanye West and Bone Thugs and Harmony, and then he completely stopped doing music. So at I don't even know, 11, 12, he's like, no, we're gonna get you in the studio.
For sure.
So I do have early memories of me being in the studio, and my mom was a dancer, so music was always around. I was named after Mariah Carey, so I just grew up listening to music, and it was around me. And everyone in my family can kind of play music by ear.
Okay.
So it's no matter what room I'm in, someone's playing an instrument, or whatever family party, there's people playing music, So I feel like I don't even have an earliest memory of what got me into it. It just kind of was there already.
I feel you. Do you like Mariah Carey's music?
I can't lie to you. When I'm going through it, I'll put on a ballad. And
she got them pipes, yo. Mariah Carey got them pipes.
Sit there and, I'm not going to lie to you. I do.
I feel you. Early on, what was you listening to? What was what was that? What was the music that you were yo, this is crazy?
Because of the fact that everyone listens to different music. My dad was really big on Nas, Biggie, Tupac, Big Pun, and then my mom was really into neo soul and R&B, Erykah Badu, Lauryn Hill. And my brother is really close in age with me. We shared a room for a little bit, and he was into emo. He's 5 years older than me. He really liked My Chemical Romance, Panic at the Disco, Fall Out Boy, shit like that.
Yeah.
I took inspiration from all of that.
God damn.
But I remember being in kindergarten, and I would we had surround sound in my house, and I would put Radio Disney on and then just lay on the floor. And I remember hearing Taylor Swift, Teardrops on my guitar. Who the fuck is this? She is changing the game right now. I feel that. I was 7, you know what I mean? I was really I love her. So, and then my first CD was Hannah Montana. My brother gave it to me for my birthday. So that's the first two artists that kind of influenced me to wow, I like singing, But the first time that I considered I want to make music was JoJo.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for Christmas, my grandma got me one of these it's a knockoff iPad. It was a mix stick, but it was made from Disney. And you only had a couple options. They only made Jesse McCartney, the whole album, and then JoJo and some other terrible artist. And so they gave me JoJo, and she was so soulful, and I don't know, man, till this day, I can listen to that album, and that is a really big influence on my sound. Especially the new project that I'm going to be dropping. If you listen to it, you can pull influence from JoJo.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was really, really young, but I was man, she has amazing vocal range. She's singing about some real shit, just relationships. I was literally under 10, but I was man, I feel her. Yeah.
Felt it, yo.
And she was just all I wanted to be. So yeah, JoJo, Hannah Montana, Miley Cyrus, and Taylor Swift.
What was her biggest smash hit, JoJo? What was it?
Oh, she had two of them. So it was Leave, Get Out, and then A Little Too Late.
I think it was a little too late. I think that, a little too late. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. That's so interesting. I love how you brought up the iPad thing, because I remember they had those things. Y'all ever had those toothbrush things? Where
yes, I did. The Fireflies?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. I had the Hannah Montana one. Yeah. I had all of those. Anything on the commercial, I was I need that, Mom. I need that. Yeah, I had that one. It was pretty cool.
That's dope. So, how did you transition from that? From peeping all that stuff and actually Oh yeah, you had the early studio. You were going to the studio early on.
Before
so like,
that though, like I went to the studio because I had already written my own music, and I was like in 8th grade. But I remember I was at a Target with my mom, and I was like, "Mom, like I really want this keyboard," and she was like, "I'm not about to buy that for you," and I'm like, "No, you have to. Like you have to get it for me." And she's like, "You can't even play it. Like why am I gonna spend $200 on this for you?" And I was like, "Well, if I play it right now, will you buy it?" And because like my whole family plays by ear, like whatever was playing, I kind of just like matched pitch, played a little melody, and she's like, "All right, yeah, I'll buy it for you."
Oh, you can play this shit.
Yeah. She was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll get it for you." And then I took it home, and like I was just sitting there all day before school, after school. Like I was like fully invested into playing piano. And then I wrote a song. So like at that point, my dad's like, "Well, come on, let's take you to the studio." Yeah. But that's kind of like how it happened. It was just like, I really, really wanted to play piano. And, you know, they had got me a guitar in kindergarten, but my brother like finessed it off me and like sold it. And I never even had a chance to play it. I don't even remember. I never had a chance to play it. It was like it was just like I don't know, electric guitar, but no idea. I don't even think I played it at all. He just like took it and then I never saw it again.
Damn, he sold that joint.
100%. 100%. Never
Someone
saw
out there
it.
got that guitar.
No, right. I don't know. But it's cool because like guitar wasn't something that I resonated with anyway.
Yeah,
but
you're more of a pianist and stuff.
yeah, I wanted to, we lived in an apartment and I really wanted to play drums. My mom's like, there's no fucking way we can play drums. Like, and that's like what I really, really wanted to do. And I had these like drumsticks that I don't even know, like they came with this little pad and they'd like make noises, but it didn't go anywhere because I obviously didn't play drums, but I could play the piano and that worked for me.
Nice.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, and I love that you brought that up about like how like you were able to play the piano that well, because you don't know what you obtained subconsciously.
Yeah.
And just from, you know, visualization, like, and that is so dope to hear because it makes so much sense why you're so musically inclined because of just all the people in your crib.
Right.
That's
yeah.
so
Like, you just hear it all the time.
And like, so you weren't like traditionally taught how to play a piano? You kind of just self-taught?
No, everything that I play, I don't know how to read music.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of like for a while growing up, like I was kind of embarrassed. I didn't call myself a musician. I didn't tell people either because they're like, you know, if you get into a room with a bunch of musicians, they're like, "Oh yeah, can you play A minor and tune it to this and then this key?" And I'm, what the fuck are you saying?
Right.
Like, I have no idea. Like I'm like, okay, well you play it. I'm gonna watch you and I can do it back.
Learn that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I was embarrassed for a while. Like how can I call myself a musician if I can't do the things that other people can do? But as I got older, I realized like that's just like a different skill and like you can still do the same thing without having that, you know what I mean? Like it'd be really cool to know music theory. And I've like I've considered like learning music theory, but like it's okay if I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly. Because they don't know what you know. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's a different skill, I guess.
Everyone different, yo.
Yeah, 100%. And like I just love that you brought that up because like a lot of people don't realize that, like, I guess they don't follow their intuition. And that's kind of interesting, like that you did that at a really young age, that you're like, yeah, I need this piano, bro.
And I'm like, my mom, you know, like we didn't have a lot of money growing up. So she's like, bro, like, are you serious right now? I'm like, no, mom, like I need it. Like you need to give it to me. Yeah. And like being able to convince her in that moment was like, I'm so glad I did. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
Because if she would have said no to me, I probably would have never kept going with it or kept pushing for it.
100%. What other instruments do you know how to play? Do you know how to play any of them?
Like anything you give me. My next thing that I'm trying to, which I've been saying for like the past 3 years, is to learn cello. Because my mom played cello when she was younger.
Really?
What's cello?
It's like the
big drum, right?
Yeah, with the, you know. But I haven't like got one yet, and I keep saying that I'm gonna get one. And I put it off, but like I'm gonna do that.
Dude, instruments cost a lot.
Yeah, the cello's like I would say like minimum 500. So and like people have been recommending like, well, you should just rent one.
Yeah,
but like
rent it,
I'm not gonna rent one. Like
you need one.
I just need my own. You know what I mean?
Big as fuck to like carry around and shit.
Right? No, they are. I'm five.
It's bigger than you, no doubt.
I'm 5'0". Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of these instruments are the same size as me. My keyboard's the same size as me. Like, so, but I don't know. I just feel like I could play it.
Yeah,
like I feel intuition. Like I could play it. So that's like my next goal is to play cello. But everything else, I mean, anything I've picked up, I can pretty much play.
I feel you. What other stuff was like, intimidating for you? Like when you started, like, cause you bring up like that you can't read music, but like what other stuff like was intimidating that you kind of like overcame,
There's so many things.
Right.
Like I feel like every day I'm figuring something else out that I'm overcoming. Like the most recent one is like, I do not know how to naturally harmonize. And as a vocalist, like people are like, what do you mean? And I can't figure it out in my head. Like I can't hear the harmonies. So like a lot of the times I will go to my friends and like ask them to help me arrange these things for me because I just can't. Like I don't know. And it's a skill like I'm learning and I'm getting better. I'm at a way better place than I was previously with it. But that's embarrassing. Like to go into a session and they're like, yeah, can you just add a couple harmonies? And I'm like, yeah, I really don't know how to do that. Like, I'm like, can you like hum it for me maybe? Like, I don't know. Like that's something I've been struggling with, which I don't ever hear anyone talk about. So I get really embarrassed. I hate going to sessions like if I'm not prepared because I just don't know what I'm going to have to do. And like, I hate being in that position of being like, okay, let's reschedule and I can come prepared with harmonies. But you know what I mean? I just hate that. Like that's my current struggle right now.
But no, that's what's up because it's all a learning. It's all learning at the end of growth at the end of the day because like one thing that I find is really interesting is that like a lot of people try to get to a destination and you shouldn't be trying to get to a destination, you should just be going through life just focus really just focus on the journey, you know what I'm saying? You should never be trying to get to a destination and what you're going through is just you already know. In a year, come on now, you ain't gonna even have to worry about that.
I'm hoping.
You don't even got to worry about that within a year. But I love that you know what I'm saying, shared that because a lot of people probably go through that and like again, like they still don't have the ability to what you bring to the table. You feel me?
And you're open about it too. Like you realize it's one of your flaws.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's become easier to talk about, but it's so embarrassing. Like I've been even in sessions with like rappers who aren't singing, and they're like, "What do you mean? Like I could do it for you?" I'm like, "This is so embarrassing." But
so like, what's a like typical studio session with you? Like, do you come, full songs written, only the hook, or are you just writing while you're in the studio? Walk us through like a typical Mariah, sort of studio session.
It depends on like what the session is or like what I'm doing. Most of the time I write my music at home since I play instruments.
Okay.
I will write the song and then bring it to a producer and we'll kind of build on that already. And I'm like, oh yeah, I hear strings, I hear this or whatever. As of recently, it's been a lot of like dance, electronica, house.
Yeah.
Those are already like, I'll come into a session in which I've been working with my good friend Hunter, and he'll kind of just be like, what vibe are you feeling? Kind of like a Kenny Beats type of influence. So we'll sit down and don't overthink it. I'm going to go ahead and create something. Can you write a hook? And
kind of bounce ideas.
Yeah, and then I'll just write a full song in however many minutes, and then we'll record that, and that's like our demo. We'll go from there.
Yep.
But for the most part, like for a lot of the music on my project that's gonna come out is me. I wrote at home on the piano, or me on the guitar, and then I brought to someone else, and we kind of built around that.
Got it.
Is that? Do you feel like you work better like that at the crib?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is something I'm working on, and I'm getting better. But I hate like writing with hella people around me. Like I have a rule that I don't want. If you are not contributing in my session, you should not be in this room. You know what I mean? And I mean that like with all the love that I can give you, no disrespect, but like you are not contributing and you're kind of just taking up space and distracting me.
I feel
you know what I mean? Like there's no reason why you should just be sitting here unless I ask you to, which I never ask anyone to come to my sessions. Like I don't care if you're my best friend, you're my sister. Nah, I will see you after my session. Like it's just pointless to me. So honestly, I forget, what was the question again?
Just like a typical studio session.
Oh,
but
yeah.
you answered it. Yeah.
So I'm like, I keep forgetting what the hell we're talking about. But yeah, it's basically that.
No, for real. Like how was actually like making your first song? Like let's get into that, because it's always like, I guess it depends on the artist, because it's always an interesting question that we ask. So like how was that?
So I wrote my first song, Breathe, in 8th grade.
Really?
Yeah, and it's really interesting because when you look at the lyrics, like it seems like I'm going through some deep shit, and it was really just my friend was mad at me.
Really?
In 8th grade. Yeah.
Really?
And I like took that shit to heart. I'm like, it's the end of the world.
It cut
like,
deep, yo.
You're not my friend
So does
anymore.
everything you write, like, is it on a personal tip or is it on like a...
It varies, but like I journal every day.
Oh.
I went to
I love that.
school
Okay,
for
cool.
journalism for a little bit. So like, and I just talk a lot, So if I got no one to listen to me, I'm going to write it down.
Yeah,
I feel you.
And-
I feel you.
So a lot of these things, if you kind of like consistently read my journal entries and you hear some of these songs, like I can relate to them. You know what I mean?
Wow, okay.
So it's essentially just like a melodic journal entry
Yeah.
that you can hear.
Really? That's
And some of it,
interesting.
like the more
A melodic journal entry.
yeah, the most recent stuff is like nothing to take too serious. Like Kick It With You is just like a joke.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
my mom made a reference about like, oh yeah, we used to kick it back in the day. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, does that mean sex? Does that mean not?
Uh-huh.
She's like, nah, that just means hanging. And then I was talking to someone else and they're like, no, that means you were hooking up. And I was like, what the fuck does kick it mean? So
Depends on the content.
right, you just don't even know.
Yeah,
so in the
yeah.
song, that's what like what even is kicking it? Like we don't even fucking know. Like,
Uh-huh.
it was just based off of a conversation I had 2 days prior. Went to the session and I was like, oh, I kind of like that phrase. I'm gonna use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What did your mom think of the song?
Oh, she likes it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's dope.
See that's really interesting because that's why I always wonder, like, is she talking about somebody or is he talking about somebody?
You know what? There is a reference in there though. Like Kick It With You. I
Right.
went to this event. And there's like some girl that just pissed me off. Like she said something like, I don't know what she did, but she did something that just I felt disrespected by her.
Uh-huh.
Damn.
And my friend was like in the back seat of the car was like, hey, can I give you some advice right now? I turned around and I was like, no, you can't because I don't care. I don't want your advice. And then she was like, look, you just got to charge it to the game.
Mm.
And I was like, what the fuck? Whatever, whatever. But then I ended up referencing that and Kick It With You. Like, guess I just got to charge it to the game. You know what I mean? Like,
That's
so
fire.
that
That's
song
what's
was just
up.
a bunch of references
That's
that people
fire.
had said to me that I was like, I'm gonna write that down.
Damn, that's dope.
That's fire.
That's really dope. I love that. That makes the music way better when you have stuff like that actually,
Those little
within your
gems.
real life. But what are your pet peeves? Because you brought up that girl, like what do you have
my
any
pet
other,
peeves?
Yeah. Do you have any other like shit that you like, oh yeah, I can't stand that. Like give me one.
There's so many. Like, be for real. I got like a lot of pet peeves. Let me think.
I guess to make it easier, maybe related to like your music or
Pet
your
peeves in
artistry.
music?
It could be anything. Yeah, it could be anything, but he was just trying to make it easier on you.
Well, that, like, obviously, people just come into my session that aren't contributing, and I don't like that. I really hate that. I also, like, I'm still having a hard time trying to understand this, but, like, I do not like when people smoke in a session.
Really?
And it's crazy because, people feel like they need to do that,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but it's, like, hella disrespectful to vocalists who they want on songs or they want in the session
Mhm.
because the more I'm intaking that smoke, the more hoarse my voice is.
It'll affect your voice.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, did you think about that? Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's a big pet peeve for me. Like, I've pulled up to studios where like, hey, we want you on this hook. And then it's like a hot box.
It's smoked out in there.
And I'm like, bro, I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to be able to sing right now. Like, what?
Yeah.
I guess that's like a pet peeve. And I don't really tell people that a lot. I kind of just decide, oh, I'm never coming back here. Like, I just will never, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's like a personal pet peeve. I've never
No, that was
actually-
great. That's a good one. I never thought about that because the studio
It's too much
always,
smoke in the air.
always
Bro,
be
you
the hot
know.
box.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
always be
It's,
it'd be the link up spot too. Like
Yeah.
you know?
everyone wants to talk,
It's
bro.
a smoke session now,
Uh-huh.
bro.
Everyone wants to just chill.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what are you doing here? Go home. This shit pisses me off. Yeah, I don't know.
That's funny as hell. But after you made your first single, like when did you like feel like, oh yeah, like this is like I'm good. Like
I got this.
Yeah,
I know
I
what
got
I'm doing.
this. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think anyone ever feels that way.
You
I'm
really?
still not at that level yet. No.
Really.
I feel like it's a form of expression and it's just stuff I do to get out. You know what I mean?
Do you
And-
feel like this is therapy? Do you feel like music is therapy to
Oh,
you?
100%. I feel
Really?
like writing is therapy for me.
Right.
I love to write music. And up until now, I have never liked my music. I never listen to it. I don't want my friends to play it. Like, I don't want to hear it.
Really?
But like the stuff that I'm making now that's going to be put out in like the next couple of months is like stuff that I'm proud of because I like it and I would listen to it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know if that makes any sense.
You say now, like today now, or like now, like this year?
Well, you know what?
Like
Kick It With You is tolerable for me to hear. I hear it and I'm like, yeah, I kind of like that. You know what I mean?
Really?
Versus in the past, like all my music, I was just never a big fan of. And my like sophomore EP that's going to be coming out, like, is music that I like. I like the lyricism. I like the sounds. Like, I like everything about it, which I never had before.
Really? So is that why? So that's pretty much why you feel like you like the stuff that you have coming out right now compared to the other stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah,
Really?
absolutely.
Okay, what do you feel like the other stuff was missing?
I think so. So say you have an idea, right, for a song, and you take it to 4 different producers. You are going to get 4 different styles.
Ooh.
And I think for so long, like, I didn't understand that the resources were abundant for me, and I didn't understand that it's not a one fits all. You know what I mean? And I was kind of just going with what was there. And I'm so grateful to the people who helped me along the way. But I feel like I just wasn't vocal enough in that time period to be like, no, like, this is not something I like. You know what I mean? Like,
I love that.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and a lot of it was taken in different directions that I wasn't trying to go. And I kind of just went with it. And I really do regret that, you know, because I feel like they could have had way more potential to be something different than what it was. And that's why my sound is evolving so much and it's very genre blending. It's because, like, I was still trying to figure out, like, what I liked. And although people do appreciate it and they do listen to it, it's just stuff that I couldn't resonate with.
Right.
Like, I don't see myself listening to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the music that I listen to is nothing like the music I make. And there's like a disconnect there. You know, I should be making music that I would listen to.
Yeah.
So like I'm getting closer to that every single day.
That's deep.
That speaks volumes there.
I love that.
I like that a
lot. Because I remember, I mean, I don't mean to bring up other people, but I remember we had KO in here.
Yeah.
And you remember he was all like, from this point on, like this was the shit. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Like this was, and I love that you brought that up because it just makes so much sense.
Hell yeah.
And like, what do you feel like you're adding to this new music? Like, is it just everything that you wanted to make? You know, like what is it?
Yeah, what was missing? Like,
I can't even really like put that into words. I think the music that I was writing previously, well, like my first EP, it was like super, super young. It was like the first music I made. There's so many things that were missing, right? I didn't have like an engineer. It was not mixed. It was like not mastered.
True,
like, there was like, it was just like made in my room type stuff. And I thought that was okay. You know what I mean? And like, that was cool for the time period, for the experience. But now, like, I think working with different people, I'm like integrating different sounds. Like, I love dance music.
Yes.
I love a good pop. Like right now, well, this past year I was really into like drama. Neil Francis has been like a big inspo for me. Just like dancey. I love Robin. Dancing on My Own was one of my favorite songs. But then also like my project. Well, so those are the singles, you know, dance. I'm having fun because I like that. I love Tovolo, shit like that. But then I love neo soul. That's what I listen to, you know. So I'm getting more closer to that aspect of transitioning my sound to neo soul and R&B because
that's dope.
People haven't seen that side of me. I have a wide range, but I don't show it in any of my music. And my family's always like, "Why do you do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, I don't know how yet, but I'm gonna get there." And you're gonna be like, "Wow, this person can actually sing." I just don't show it, which is weird because like I was singing in churches growing up, and like the songs I was like covering was like Alicia Keys and shit that I can really show a range for. But my music, I wasn't doing that. And now I'm just trying to integrate all the things that I wanted to in music now so that I would listen to it and it also represents me in the best way possible. You know what I mean?
I feel you. Cause definitely like the Kick It With You single, like that should just make me feel good. Like no cap. Like I just love just just the upbeatness of it, and I just love the direction you're going through with what you just said, because that honestly is so dope. And
Thank you.
And we got the backstory now too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And you know what I'm saying, I know that like these things are personal, and then like when I hear, you know what I'm saying, these tracks, I could be all like, yeah, you know, like I could connect to that, you know, on a deeper level, because a lot of stuff now is just really surface level, you know?
Yeah.
It's just people are making music just to make it, you know what I'm saying? And they got, you know, a huge ass hard drive of fucking songs that they never put out. So I just love that, you know, you actually make, you know, music is personal to you, and, you know, corresponds with your journal entries.
Right.
Like,
a lot of it's
so
pretty, I mean, if you know me, you're like, I know who she's talking about. I know what she's talking about. Like, if you're close in my life and you know, you're like, oh, I know that one.
That's dope. But out of all of the things that you do with music, like, what is your favorite? Like, as far as like either like writing, you know, or making the music or performing the music, like, what's your favorite out of just all of them?
I love performing. I love
Hell
it.
yeah.
Like this past year, I did so many performances.
Yeah, you were at House of Vans.
Yeah,
So you
I've
did
done
the
like a lot.
festivals.
Yeah, I've done
Festival, right?
festivals. I've done a lot of stuff, and like because I didn't have any of my music out, like it's one of the best feelings possible to have people come to my shows multiple times because they think I'm a good performer, and like
That's
have
what's
people sing lyrics back to me for unreleased songs because they've been to so many shows, and I'm like, I know I'm a good performer.
Yeah,
like I know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite thing. And also I love writing. Like I think I'm gonna start trying to write for other artists because I write so much
dope.
and I don't
Yes.
put out a lot of it. You know, it's not my type of, you know, I'm not gonna put that out. But I know like someone else could probably sing it really good.
Have
so
people
like
hit you up to like write for them?
Yeah.
You turn them down, or you're like,
No, I feel like in the past I've had people like invite me to sessions to like write, and like I wrote some stuff and then they like never hit me up again, used my writing, wasn't given any percentages. It's happened to me a lot. Or like people would just kind of schedule like sessions and invite me to it in terms of like thinking that I'm going to be writing, but they're not telling me that.
yeah.
And like I really do appreciate
They're trying
that, but
to
it needs to
backdoor
be
you and shit.
communicated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
because I am, you know, talented in other forms, not just writing. So I don't know. I think I have like a bad history with that. But I want to like moving forward, I would love to write for other people.
I feel you. I please venture off and you know, do that, because that's why I tell everybody that for real got a pen. That's what I just told KO too. Like if you got that, like definitely like people could use you as a resource. You feel me?
Right.
Like,
yeah. I've been thinking about that. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was talking to one of my friends who's going to be releasing like music for the first time project. And I was just like, you know what? I have a lot of songs that I think they could like utilize and do something cool with. Because I probably won't ever put that out, but doesn't mean that it's not good work.
Yeah, it's still a hit.
Right? Yeah, like I know
Yeah.
people would enjoy it. Yeah, so I'm going to do that.
Okay. Favorite performance like that you've been a part of?
I have a couple.
For sure.
I did a DZ Fest. It's like this DIY festival that happened with like, I think it was like over 100 artists.
Ooh,
Where was it?
Cool.
Where was it?
I think it was like Oak Lawn or something.
Okay.
But it's
Really?
changing.
Oak Lawn,
This
for
year
sure.
it's going to be in Pilsen.
Oh,
Really?
sweet.
Okay.
But it was such a good vibe. Like it was
Show.
the first time, it was actually the first show that I had my full band.
Damn.
And we
Brought
only
the
had like
band
one
out.
rehearsal. Well, I've had a band, but like I have a set band.
Yeah.
Like it's been like it'll be coming up on a year where I have a set band that like no one's
dope.
coming in and out. Like everyone
Ooh,
knows
that's
this is my
dope.
band.
That's dope.
Yeah, and that was the first show that I had where I finally had like a set drummer, and because the drummer, man, there's a shortage on drummers in Chicago. You can't find a drummer.
We need
like
you.
I'm not even joking with you. Like, and all my friends know because we all share the same drummer. So it's like there's a shortage on drummers in Chicago. So I definitely like that was the first time I had just a set band, and it sounded so cool. And we may not have had like that like groove yet. You know what I mean? But it just felt really good.
Yeah.
And then I also played a show at Cafe Mustache for the Music Fest that had happened, and it's a smaller venue. But I remember it was like 2 minutes before my set, and it was like kind of dead. Like not a lot of people were there, and then like a rush of people just started coming in and like packed it completely. People were standing up on chairs.
That's
Like,
dope. I love that.
and that was like a really, really cool performance because I don't know. I feel like I really wanted to express myself, so I was dancing a lot more on stage. And like after the show, my drummer and guitarist like, man, you were really moving. Like you were really dancing. And I was like, well, it was a really small stage. Like, what was I supposed to do? I couldn't move around. Like, damn, like I have to do something. And those two performances like just made me feel really good because, you know, like the DZ Fest, it felt good to have my bandmates around me supporting me. And to be like, okay, cool, I finally have a fucking set band.
Hell yeah.
And then when we did the music fest at Cafe Mustache, it was cool to see people come to see me live or like to pack out a place to see me. And I didn't really know a lot of these people, and a lot of them knew lyrics to songs that aren't out. And that was like, that was a good performance.
I feel you. I'm gonna ask you this question because I wonder how, like, I always wonder this, like when I see performances, and we definitely gonna catch up. We definitely gotta catch one of our performances this summer.
Yeah.
But this is what I wanted to ask you. What do you do to control the crowd? Like, because I know that a lot of artists, you know, they do different things. Like they tell them like, oh, like they say like the first like bar of the song or whatever, and they make them say it. You know, like
a call and response.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Like name for it.
Call and response.
Oh God, I didn't even know.
Yeah, call and response.
Damn. We're going to school right now. Damn.
Oh God, teach us something, right?
But yeah. So like, what do you do to like get the crowd's attention?
This is interesting because I was literally just talking about this yesterday with one of my friends who said that like they went to a show and people weren't paying attention to the performer. And the performer in response was kind of passive aggressive with the audience. And I was like, yes, okay, it is the responsibility of an audience to kind of pay attention and give that respect. But you're not always going to get that.
Right.
And it's your responsibility as an artist to take control of the energy and grab the attention from them. And if one thing isn't working, then you need to change it and try something else.
Yep.
And each audience and group of people are different every single time. You just don't know. It depends on the vibe.
100%.
So I can't give you a set answer because it just depends on the circumstance of people in front of me. But it's really, you have to feel it out and you have to pay attention and you have to look at body language and see what they're resonating more with. What are they dancing to? You know what I mean? So that's the best thing that I can say is like have that awareness of the people in front of you, because it's ultimately up to you to grab their attention. You can't blame anyone else. You do occasionally have just rude ass people. I get that. But it's your responsibility to be like, no, I'm on stage. Pay attention to me. Without being passive aggressive, you know what I mean? Because the passive aggressive, you're just not getting anywhere with that.
100%.
But that's
both sides.
Because I like the way that you brought that up. Definitely, you gotta definitely look out there and be able to feel the crowd. Because I'll bring up two situations. I've seen Toby Lou perform, and what he was doing was, if a song wasn't hidden, he'll look out in the crowd, switch the song.
Like,
and then people like that song, he'll continue with that type of vibe. So he's gonna play another song that's similar to that. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. And then a totally different example. This dude did he was probably drunk, to be honest. But he was on stage and nobody was paying attention to him. He was all like, y'all not fucking with me? Y'all not fucking with me? Play the next song. Like, he kept saying that after every song.
It doesn't matter. We're not gonna pay attention.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, like you say, you gotta do something, and like,
or at least know like your audience ahead of time, right? Like, I got booked for a bill at Shuba's, and it was 2 alternative artists. And if you've seen me live, my music is damn near R&B. Like, a lot of it is very groovy R&B. And I was like, okay, we got to take my music and we need to curate it so that this alternative audience is going to vibe with it. So we added a song in that I don't know if I'll ever release, and I don't perform too much, but it was like an alternative song, and we changed the style of all my music to be a little bit more indie alternative.
Got it.
And the audience obviously vibed with that because that's what they came to see.
They were expecting more alternative type sound.
The whole lineup was alternative. So I was like, well, let's curate it so that they like the sound of it, you know, like, and you can do that with music, especially in a live setting. You can change the style in which you do music.
Curating it to the specific show and shit.
Because like, you know, if I was in an all R&B lineup, then I'd be like, hey, you know, like, let's change the tempo of everything, slow it down, make it, you know what I mean? But it just depends on who I'm going to be with. And I knew that ahead of time. Like, let me look into the other artists on the bill. Let me listen to their music. What are people coming here to see? And that's how I curate that.
No, I like that you brought that up, because that guy that I'm talking about, he kind of has more of like slower music. And it's like people are not trying to hit this
Bro,
type of
yeah.
crowd.
Not
Like,
all the
they trying
time.
to turn up. Like they ain't trying to hear that type of shit, you know? So yeah, that's interesting that you brought that up. And another thing, I seen what festival was that I went to? It was in Vegas last year. Oh Jesus. The festival with all the old heads. What is that shit called?
I don't know.
The old heads.
Yeah. Oh
I remember
my
when you went though, 'cause
God.
it was in Vegas.
Oh my God. What is it? Oh man.
Who were the artists?
Oh,
Who were the artists?
it was T-Pain. It had a whole bunch of old people on
Shit, I
there.
want to see T-Pain.
Yeah,
Yeah,
after
for real.
after this, I'll tell y'all. But yeah, it was a festival in Las Vegas. So T-Pain was there. There's a whole bunch of R&B people, but the festival and all like his R&B songs, they changed the beat. They changed the beat. I was like, whoa, like this is some real festival shit. But
Oh, like to pick it up?
To pick it up, to get people
Just
turned.
like you were saying. Just like you were
Yeah.
saying. That's exactly what he did. All the songs he performed were like turnt R&B songs.
You just got to do that sometimes. Because it's like, if they really like the music, they'll listen to it in your style. But aside from that, you
Mhm.
essentially have to win over an audience.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
this is the range. This is what I can do. And like, I can curate it to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes you just have to do that. Like, I wasn't trying to be alternative in that
Mhm.
that bill, but I was like, damn, this is what people are coming to listen to, so I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
So
I feel
suddenly
you.
I'm an alternative artist. Like, let me put my eyeliner on. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
But that's not my everyday thing.
Yeah.
But today I am. Like, I
Being-
think that's like what makes a good performer is being able to curate to the audience.
Yeah, adapting
Mhm.
to that situation.
100%.
You're giving out gems right now. I hope they listen.
Yeah, no, for real.
You know,
for
I do
real.
a little bit of writing.
Do it all.
For real. But yeah, what's your newest single, Kick It With You? Like, what's kind of like the next, like, I guess you're planning for like the next, I guess the rest of this year, like, cause you dropped this single and, I don't know if you're going to keep running singles back. Like, I don't know what you're going to do, but I love the fact that you dropped this single and how complete it sounds. And I like the video that you dropped too on the gram.
Yeah.
I was
Just
like,
like
what
the
the hell?
content.
Wait, hold on. How'd you get that angle?
Okay, Hunter, man, you know what? I think there's very few angels that walk on this earth, and Hunter is an angel. That
got the
was
wings.
such a crazy collaboration that happened. Like, he just followed me and DM'd me and was like, "Hey, would you like to come to a session?" We scheduled one,
Right.
and then the same day that we made a song, he was like, "No, we need another song. Like, we need to keep doing this." And it's just been working really well. But he's prepared. You know what I mean? Like.
Mhm.
Comes ready.
He had like this like wide eye camera type thing, and
Mhm.
he just was ready for content. Like, and not everyone is, you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Yeah.
And we discussed like what would be a cool idea, and we were thinking in terms of, he's really big on like TikTok,
Mhm.
like, and that's not for everybody. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I hate catering to TikTok,
Mhm.
but I'm getting better at it, and I know what people like to see, so I'm working at it. But because we both know, like, from a marketing standpoint, like what people want to see, I was like, well, this is like a, what is it? Garage UK type beat, but I'm in Chicago, right? So that's like very ironic. So
Mhm.
how can I showcase this style of music, but I'm from Chicago?
Right.
So we incorporated a bunch of like walking downtown,
Mhm.
sitting on a rooftop where you can see the skyline behind me,
Mhm.
things like that. Like,
That's
that was
dope.
how could I incorporate that style to grab people's attention to be like, wait, where are you from? You know what I mean?
right.
And
Let
it
'em know I'm
worked.
in
It
Chicago.
worked.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was like, man, he really was doing something with that. And I
Yeah.
was so annoyed because that wasn't just a one day thing, He was like, "No, we got to shoot content today. Like,
process.
come on." Multiple days, bro. It was cold out. It was cold out. It's like, "No, we got to go downtown." Like, and I was just so annoyed. I was like, okay, like, that was like shot with all the content we put for TikTok. And I kind of put it as a, what is it called? Compilation.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Those are multiple days.
Damn,
but
that's crazy.
he knew what he was doing with that, and it worked. And it was the first time that like I had a real hit. I don't know how much it was. It's like 13 to 15,000 views or something.
That's dope.
It's pretty high up there. But that was the first time that ever happened to me. I was like, oh, okay, people like
it's working.
this.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
I don't know. That
yes.
was I saw a really huge jump in the content, which it made me realize. So people, there's this controversy that music videos are actually not needed anymore, right?
Mhm.
Because
That's
how
huge,
short of our
yep.
attention span
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
But if you make a reel that doesn't go any more than 1 minute and 30 seconds, that's enough that you could keep people reeled in, because it
Mhm.
only takes about 15 seconds for someone to determine whether or not they want to keep watching or keep
Mhm.
listening
Yep.
or next.
Yep.
So like, how could you grab someone's attention within that 15 seconds. And you know what? That 15 seconds was actually stats from a couple years ago, and maybe even shorter now. And like, I had to be able to be like, no, we got to include this in the first couple seconds, and we got to do this. You know what I mean? And yeah, that shout out to Hunter for having like these crazy ass cameras and shit. Like, he's prepared.
Shout out Hunter.
No,
he's prepared.
Come on the show, Hunter.
No, that was great. Like I love that you brought that up, and then like I'm telling you, like it was packaged so well. So like.
Yeah, shout out to Hunter,
y'all got
for real.
Definitely keep doing that. And
yeah, we definitely got a bunch of stuff coming up.
You got to definitely keep doing that. And like you said, like with the whole imagery of it, like if I didn't live here, I would be like, whoa, like this is mad cool, like where is she
like,
at?
It shows like Chicago.
Yeah, it's mad cool. Like that's
and it was like low budget too. You know what I mean? He already had the camera. We just needed to take the time to do it.
Right, exactly.
Because like for like other content that people use, like it would have been really cool to kind of commission someone to do that, but I didn't have the budget for it.
Yeah,
so
sure
like we just
got
to work with what we got. You
right,
know what
exactly,
I mean?
exactly. And so like with that whole package of Kick It With You coming out, like what is next down the pipeline? What you got coming up next?
So I have okay. There's a lot of different things, which is like super questionable, and I've been like sitting on for a while, but
sure.
I have a project that's definitely going to be coming out, and this project is like so overdue. Like I don't even know, people know the lyrics to songs that are not out. Like it's so overdue. And I feel like I've just been one, procrastinating, two, at the time the resources weren't there for me. And now I'm just like, it's all R&B. And I'm really worried about that, because I have a bunch of singles coming out that are like dance, house, and I'm like, I don't know how to fully transition one genre to the next because I don't know how to do that. And I'm scared, like what if I put out this whole R&B project and everyone's like, nah, go back to pop. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm still thinking about how I'm going to do that. But like in terms of this year, I'm definitely going to release a lot more music. I started doing music in 2019 and obviously we went through COVID and that completely stopped. Like my EP release was canceled. So I never had an EP release and nothing really I didn't get to push anything. And then I didn't have the resources to make music. So I stopped for a really long time. And then I think it was like 2020, I released one song. 2021, I released one song. And like 2022, I released like 2 songs or something. And this year I'm like, no, bro, like I'm going to release all these 15, 16 songs that I'm sitting on. I don't care what it takes, but it's going to come out.
Hell yeah.
So I've like stopped doing shows for the meantime, which is like crazy. Like last year I was like shows every week. I was doing a show and I love it. It's so fun, but like that's not my priority anymore. Like it's cool to be in front of an audience, but what are they going to be able to listen to when they leave?
Yeah. So
I think for this year, like definitely expect a lot more music from me, like a lot more than you've ever seen. And that's what like ideally, releasing my project that I was sitting on for so long, which like now I don't even know, I'm so over it because I've been sitting on it for so long, which I still really, really want to put out. And then a bunch of singles that I have of songs that just don't fit on the project, which are equally as good.
I feel you. Well, we're going to be on the lookout for real. And you need to perform at least once so we could pop out.
Oh no, definitely.
We need to see it. Yeah. Just know if you see us in the crowd, we're just gonna give you one of these. You know what I'm saying? But before we get out of here, just like we tell every artist, this is all we want at the end of the day for just any artist to come in here and we just chop it up. If we could do this every year, we would love to, or if we could do this anytime, we could, do this. That's all we want at the end of the day. And like we said, we're gonna be in the crowd. We're going to be cheering you on behind the scenes, whatever the case may be.
You got our support, man.
Yeah, for sure. But once again, we appreciate you sliding. Stream Kick It With You.
For real.
Stream Kick It With You, you feel me?
In.
And we for sure appreciate you sliding. Is there anything else you want to plug before we get out of here?
Nah. Thank you so much for your time. It's been really cool.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming through. You already know what it is. It's the Ghetto Flower Fresh Flowers podcast, and we are out.